Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn with me, Alpha Omega and Ukraine. So in the last episode we have undertaken a massive reform where we changed the template of Mechanizovana Brigada. We added a whole new branch, pretty much doubling this brigade in size and adding some support battalions that now make this one of our strongest divisions. In this episode I'm hoping that we can do the same thing with Hirsko-Shturmova Brigada, where we already decided how we're going to change this one. And in the next step, we are going to reform the tank brigade, which is going to be fun. But for that, we need experience. So we started training our armies, making sure that we get enough experience points. And if we don't, then we might just go ahead and just train the army as a default, making sure that they will all give us experience. Well, we'll exchange that experience for equipment losses, but judging from the fact that most of our equipment is so aged, it's not such a big loss. So we are working very hard on replenishing the military by the reform of our mechanized brigades. We are actually now lacking some of the IFVs, 53 at this point, and we are lacking some of the command equipment. So we're making sure that everyone will have that, but it's gonna take time. Though we are on our way to getting 2 per day, so not even a year before we have replenished all, and we're actually going to start upgrading the equipment. So we reduced the state. The government has interfered far too long in the autonomy of the oblasts, which are, not autonomous, but it would be a region, like a city or a larger area governed by the mayor and the regional people, basically. I don't know why I'm trying to explain that. It's extremely easy to understand. We should push to allow the people to decide for themselves in their respective regions. It's not the job of the government to decide for the people what they wish to see for the future. So this gives us an extra political power gain, and military construction speed is increased. But we are now incurring more costs because we get a large civil service administration. But it shouldn't be such a big difference in the end, I think, right? And I think we are... it's not that big of a deal. We are ready to go ahead and get the healthcare reform. Monthly population and the political gain. An extra construction speed, production efficiency cap, and cost to change corruption will be lowered. It will remove the pro-Ukraine government reforms with pro-Ukraine government reforms finalized. Okay, we need that. We have the money to pay for that as well. So why not? Why not do that? I mean, really, this is a pretty good question. Why not do that? Brigada operativného призначения. Interesting. Motopikhotna Brigada. All of these are recalls. It's actually pretty interesting. Reconnaissance 3. Anyway, the research is going to be finalized on the encryption 4. We can put something else into production. A high-level summit held between Turkey and Qatar. What is this one? Following weeks of backdoor negotiations, Turkish President Sezai Temeli has arrived in Qatar to meet with his counterpart Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. Many see this summit as the first step towards greater Qatari-Turkish cooperation, possibly heralding a significant change in the geopolitics of the Middle East and a notable increase in Turkey's regional influence. Power dynamics are shifting. Interesting. Actually, someone mentioned that Zelensky is here to Do we see somewhere the leaders? I don't think so, right? Yeah, I think he mentioned, would it be the liberals? Not really sure. But I guess that might be the only party that would make sense. Attack liberals. What are we missing? Oh, main battle tank. Yeah, that's fine, because I mean, we're not getting that one anytime soon anyway, so. But the research is ongoing smoothly, isn't it? Yeah, 192 days left. At that point, we're gonna need that. At that point, we are going to need that. No divisions in basic training, which is fine, because we don't really have the equipment necessary for them. And here comes the encryption. So we get all of the ones that we need, and we are still in the year 2008, so no need to do anything over there. Neither here, really. This would modify the biofuel refinery by giving us extra fuel. Considering we want the Ukartat naphtha, I think that this might not be a bad idea. That would give us additional 2 oil, which would then move to... How much oil are we getting? Wait, where's the 2.4 thousand? Okay. From 8 to 2.4 thousand, so... Yeah, 200... Okay, let's do this thing. Any conflict with Russia will be a lengthy one, so we would definitely need as many fuel sources as possible. I even considered in between episodes to actually build some more biofuel refineries, because they would not be bad, but they block the same slots as military and civilian industries do, and as they would not give us anything right now, it won't help. Russia proposes to construct an infrastructure in Donbass. Well, sure, I am happy to humor you. Let's do that. Let us do that. You can pay for my infrastructure, Russia. That's how much I like you. Okay, the EU policy... Wait, what? What is the tutorial? Okay. Now, while Russia is building that infrastructure, I'm gonna keep praying that we don't get additional slots anywhere and can finally upgrade our economy. At which point, we can alternate between military and civilian industries. That's something that we already mentioned that we're gonna do. And if Russia starts subverting us, it might be reasonable then to work on the biofuel refineries. Because, right now, they don't really give us much. But if we... the strategic fuel reserve is cheap, but I don't think the key is, the reserve. I think the key is having the production. That's just how you do stuff. You don't, you don't keep them stockpiled and eventually exhaust them. You keep a steady flow. So what about you, lovelies? Are you full on the IFVs? No, you're not even full on the command equipment. You don't even have any anti-air yet. Main battle tanks though are fine. Damn, so many foreigners killed by jihadists. Spanish elections. Nationalist outlook. Oh, damn. Spain might start looking for a way out. BTR4. Is that the one that we're building right now? BTR4. Yep, okay. IFV 2005, so you get 44 of these beasts. That is nice. BTR3, BTRs2, BMPs. These are from 1960s, I think, BMP 1s. Imagine rolling over the battlefield with something like that. That must be fun. Okay, 1.5 command equipment per day. How much of a penalty are you getting? 75%. 5%. Okay, that is not a problem. What about the anti 20%? Okay, that is a bit more worrisome. Is it all technology metals? It is, and a bit of steel as well to boot. Now I know that you guys mentioned in the comments, and I'm very aware of that we can change the semi-consumption economy to the consumption economy, which would lower the amount of resources that go to the market. But this would also increase the tax cost. So that means we get lower output as far as the factories go. Now I could go the other way, and I could lower the tax cost of our economy, but that would increase the amount of resources that we don't have. So it's there's no point in doing this, because we either have more resources but less factories, or we have less factories but more resources. So you cannot really win with this one. So the healthcare reform. Healthcare in Ukraine is expensive, and most people have limited access to the medicine they require. A simple reform of our policies should allow our healthcare system to support more patients and get the people the care they deserve. So with this in mind, we have finished the pro-Ukraine government reforms, which give us daily power gain of 0.3, tax cost lowered by 5%, construction speed increased by 15%, production efficiency cap increased by 15%, and the cost to change corruption lowered by 50%. But it also dramatically increased our expenses, meaning that we are now earning just 0.06 billion per day. But on the other hand, that might change very soon, in just a month and a half. So, with that done, I think right now is the time to go and get the Naftogaz and then Ukrsnafta. So let's get Naftogaz. Naftogaz is the state-owned oil and natural gas company. It is involved in the process of extraction to the refinement of the products. The company is often used to push for oil and gas independence against countries like Russia or other major energy exporters. So we are going to go with that. That's going to cost us 10 billion, but in the meantime, we are going to get some, not all, but some money. And hey, now we even have 11. Did we started exporting more raw materials? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Okay, and we are now stockpiling APCs. Good. So the APC BTR 80, is that the one? 455? Where are you? Production. Where are you? Yes, no, this is BTR 90. Do we even... Okay, we stockpiled 10 of those yet. Cool. So let's do the thing where we don't do a thing. Actually, I'm gonna wait for this factory to finalize, and then, because what I wanted to do was remove this one factory and add it to the IFV, but then this factory would fall to the ATGM. I can move this one, rearrange them so that the IFVs are prioritized, but I think that it makes more sense to produce a couple more at this rate, and then when we get the additional factory, we can set it up correctly and be happy with it. Because the IFVs, believe you me, are going to require a lot of upgrades. Well, I mean, the APCs will require a lot of upgrades as well, but first we'll need to upgrade our Storm Brigade, which, believe me, is not going to be that easy. Now, there are no more units that we are training, so we're just locked on the daily gain of 0.06. One thing that I actually thought about was increasing the officer military schools to officer military academy, which would give us a bit more of a boost, but it would also increase the military wages a bit, and it would cost 150 political power, which we cannot do right now, especially now because we are very close to getting rid of the oligarchs. So let's not do that. Let's just ignore it for now and chug along. Chug along to get to this one. Speaking of which, how much do we need? I think we needed 30, didn't we? So self-propelled, armored recon, heavy engineering. Did we want that tank battalion? I think we needed that, right? Actually, no, that's wrong. There was something else here. Yeah, that was the No, not the self-propelled artillery, because that does still not fit. Motorized infantry. So it was like this? Yeah, I think it was like this. Or actually, we changed the armored recon company to something else. But I kind of like it. If we switch this one to light recon and you to heavy engineering, that would give us a bit more of a boost. Yeah, but all of these cost more. Well, I could switch this one to additional recon, and that would keep it the same. So 35 is the number that we're looking at here, nonetheless. If we had these two recons, we could put an engineering here, which would make much more of a sense and give us additional bonuses. So in plains, these guys are finally getting some decent bonuses. Attacks in the desert, not very good in hills, but also not that terrible. Forests. Okay, they're not good in the mountains, but who is? Marshes are not that bad. Jungles, also not that bad. Damn, this is a very versatile unit. Able to find both soft and hard targets. I like this design, I have to say. It's a good design. So we just need 35 experience points for that. So let's hope we'll be able to get that soon. Hey, and we finished the IFVs. Now tremble at the 2036 IFVs that we need to upgrade. Dear Lord, this is insanity. 2036. Actually 2035 at this point, but my god. If we get to 1 per day, this is going to take about 2, 3, 4, 5 years to fully equip our units with these IFVs. Okay, so we get an extra military factory, which fell where? That's weird. Construction is done, but I don't see the factory anywhere, but hopefully it's gonna reset during the night. Okay, speaking of which, we have finished all of the projects. Can we now increase? Yes, we can. So monthly population, what does this mean? We're gonna jump to 4,000 GDP per capita. With about $4,000 in GDP per capita, the country is pretty poor. But most families can at least afford basic household appliances. The level can be increased once all available building slots in your state are filled. Once the next level is reached, the state in your country will gain more building slots. Okay, so the effective change, we're jumping from 140% monthly population to almost 60%, but stability is increasing from -7 to -6%, so we get additional point. Max industries in state will be increased from -53% to -37%. Construction speed will be down from +50 to only +45%, but research speed increases from -13 to -11. Military wages increase from +7 to +9, and interest rate remains the same. So actually there's not that much of a difference here. I wonder if the economy will change. So remember, we have 934 billion now in income and 889 billion in expenditures. But maybe it won't change considering the fact that we're basically already here. It's just not set yet. So let's change that and see if there is a difference. But we made it when we have officially upped our economy. Yeah, there's no difference here because it's calculated from your factories. We now have 3.38 billion GDP, and this changes mostly for other stuff. Yep, there are a number of factories that we can now build. So let's do that. We're producing the ATGMs, nice. We're producing 5 per week. We're gonna get to about 20 per week, which means over 2 per day, 2.5 per day. So this is not such a bad number. But time to put additional factories into the IFVs. So we're gonna get to about 1 per day at this point. And true to my word, I am going to... Actually, you can get 1. 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 And you can get 1. Plus we can get an additional one in Crimea. So we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4 extra civilian factories, and we are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 extra military factories. Amazing job, guys. We have done it. Ukraine is no longer the poorest country in Europe. I doubt anyone has 1,000. Oh, maybe Transnistria, but no, I think they're at 2,000 as well. But we are now official in the big boy club with 4,000 GDP per capita. Pull on your big boy pants, guys. We are doing this. So the next focus will be on getting enough command equipment for us. I actually believe we're going for the next level, yeah, which will be coming now in 6 days. So bye 284 and upgrades, and welcome 282 and more upgrades. And it's going to be fun. But hey, it has to be done. This is the way we communicate with our troops. You cannot communicate with your troops and not at the same time, I guess. Okay, but seriously, did this change anything for us? Not really. We're working on civilian industry now, right? Yes. So we can pull on industrial projects. And anything here? Nope, not really. We could become a NATO aspirant country. NATO aspirant countries are states which have shown interest in being members of NATO. After showing interest in NATO, we will get a membership action plan, which will give us goals to achieve before we are allowed to join. Once the goals are achieved, we can begin accession talks, which will require us to get approval from all existing NATO members. Okay. Not that great. Defense policies of the EU prepare military exercise at the Russian border. Okay. At the Brazilian border. Why not? Okay. Considering that we got the equipment and this one is 5 years ahead of us, I think it might be a good time now to look into some of these general boosts. Non-militia recovery rate and defense increase. That is not bad. Digital camouflage. This would give us additional boosts. I like the flat boost to your performance because they do not require you to rearm or anything. They're just there. And that is the best thing you can get. Self-propelled batteries are something that we actually need as well. Variate propellant charges. Soft attack of all of our self-propelled artilleries and extra breakthrough. And then we could just go with this one to help with our equipment. Now we are using some of these. Agrad? No. This one? No. We're not using this one either. We're just using some from that time. So how big of a difference would that be? 10 to 21. 19 to 40. Okay, I'm sold. Let's just go with this one. And then upgrade our self-prepared artillery. By that time, we might even have a factory that they can use to do that. Oh wait, we're producing outdated equipment now. So let's switch it, kill the production again. But this will be the last change in that for quite some time. I think we're 5 years to the next equipment. So yeah, 274, but it's the new one. It's the one that we need. Okay, the IFV production is increasing. We are starting to get better anti-air, and the ATGM is upgrading. How much did we get already? 25 skiffs. Good. Okay. So that will be more and more skiffs every day. Which means that our units will have some extra reserves against the Russian invasion. That is eventually coming. It's not like we have a choice. But yeah, guns are being upgraded, anti-tank guided missiles are being upgraded. Okay, command equipment is being produced. That's something that's not being upgraded yet, but manpads are being upgraded. We're almost completely done with that. How many do we have in reserve at this point? 1.3 thousand. That is decent. That could last us in the conflict for at least a couple days. You know, I'm trying not to be that over optimistic because we could be crushed within hours, literally. The game might not be as inept as the actual Russian leadership. We're getting extra recon tanks stockpiled, but I think I don't want to cancel the license though, and the main battle tank will be done in 71 days. I don't have anything to switch for that. That is the problem. I could downgrade the amount of weapons we're producing, but we really... This is the cornerstone of our army. I don't want to go too low. And I don't want to take this factory away because I have just gotten it. I could stop the production of the BTR 90, but that also doesn't seem like a good idea. I guess we might have to wait for the next factory to finish. Which is a bad idea altogether, but I don't see any other way. Naphtha gas. So we got extra oil, correct? Yes, from 11. 3 and 1. Okay, because we're sending some to the market. So we're getting 3.4 thousand now. And we can go with Unkertat Naphtha, which will give us extra strategic fuel reserve, but also a biofuel refinery, and I'm fine with that. Okay. A bit of the budget will be spent on that. But what can you do? Now we are replenishing this using the debt And hey, look at that. We have enough to change the oligarchs. So let's go with the small and medium business owners. I mean, that should work. Okay, and they are actually lowering our civilian... actually, they increased the stability, and they increased the construction speed of civilian factories, and they lowered our tax costs. So this was a lucky draw. Does that change anything here? Nope, but stability is increased. We're finally getting a boost to industry output and to tax cost. Oh, what is this? Massive government crackdown on oligarchs consumes nation. This is the beginning of a new era, spoke Vitaly Zima in a press conference held today in the capital. After decades of lax oversight and government corruption, we are finally ending the cancer that has been spreading within our great nation and bringing power back into the hands of the many, not the few. This move comes after last Thursday's scandal involving several members of the unofficial alliance between the Ukrainian government and business elites that has dominated this country's policies for years. Since Friday, several CEOs have found themselves convicted on multiple accounts of corruption, negligence, and bribery. The Ukrainian people are finally free, spoke one citizen boasted by recent news. No longer will we have to fight our government as hard for change. Now they have to listen to us again. I'm crying, spoke a mother of two. We've finally taken back our country. Officials predict that the oligarchs have embezzled over $1.3 trillion in national wealth over their time in power, and the number is only expected to grow as more documents revealing the extent of their corruption grows. Angry over losing their influential positions and direct influence over government policy, the Ukrainian oligarchs have stated their intentions in opposing the current government and will be seeking to fund the opposition in any way they can. Mark my words, spoke one oligarch on the condition of anonymity. You haven't seen the last of us. Okay, so internal faction replace grants daily political power gain minus 0.2 and stability minus 8% for 550 days. Well, I guess that's a small price to pay, right? Okay. The farmers don't like us. What can we do for the farmers to like us? I know there was something here that I could do, but I don't remember what it was. Actually, I don't think there is anything. Does this allow us to do anything? Click to change next opinion or do this. Maybe we need to change the government or something. Positive. I know that one of these promotes more businesses, though that doesn't really help. I would have expected this one to help. Kind of weird that it doesn't, but you know. But I think this is a great end to the episode, don't you think? We have cracked down on the oligarchs and now have the small and medium business owners instead. It did not unfortunately change the amount of factories that we have available, nor did it really change anything as far as the debt and budget goes, but we might soon get to the point where we will start reducing the tax cost, and that in its own right is amazing. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode of Let's Play Ukraine in Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn.